Hello, RGL. Name is LRock617. Hope you all are having an awesome morning / late evening / time of day where you are. L is my first initial. So, hope you're all doing well. First game I'm going to be playing for y'all today is the final... I shouldn't say the final game because there was Tournament Fighters, but the final beat-em-up style game released for the NES and the TMNT franchise called the Manhattan Project. So, one thing for y'all to know, I'm getting ready to go back to the options menu, and I'm actually running the Famicom version, which was actually TMNT 2 in Japan, not 3. Big difference here is you get an options menu where you can adjust your difficulty. I'm going to be running on a normal. Game type only matters for co-op play. Here's where the real incentive kicks in. We've got a way to adjust the number of lives. Now, this is important because for the fastest possible time in this game, which the fastest solo time is on the Japanese version, you need the maximum number of lives for proper death abuse. So that's what we're going to leave it. We'll get to those reasons why here soon. Go ahead and get started. I'm not going to do a countdown because it starts on first control. So, cool thing is, every character in this game is really good, for one reason or another. Raph is going to be the best for our first stage. Let's go ahead and get her started. Here we go. So, a couple of things to know about this game. One, it's really hard. This game will take away your run with a snap of its fingers if it feels the need to do so. The other thing to keep in mind, every character has a special that's unique to them that involves a alternate press of both buttons A to B. Raph's is by far the best at clearing out foot soldiers, just this Psycho Crusher style drill that does 7 damage, kills all foot soldiers in one hit, and travels pretty much the entire screen. It's an incredibly strong move. Every time you use your special, you actually lose a hit point. Until you're completely out of HP, in which case it just keeps you at 1, and you can just do it infinitely. Downside of this is, we basically have the beat-em-up version of Contra, because anything that touches us is going to kill us, and that's why this game is so dangerous. You guys snuck up on me. Foot Soldiers has some tactics in this game, the most dangerous of which are the fact that they can grab you. Their grab is 1 frame, and it drains health, so if they grab me at this time, I'm going to die. Simple as that. You're also going to see me go for, that's some pretty bad RNG. They don't spawn bottom pixel very often. You have to reset them up. So, speaking of setups, you're going to see me go for a fair number of setups here. I'm going to try and group them together to kill them all at once. Do that. Let these guys do their thing. If we can line them up. Perfect. You're also going to see me utilize this throw a bit. Not quite as much as the drill, but it is a good move. The reason we use it in place of drill sometimes is it actually generates more points, and high point totals are actually important in this game. Every 50,000 points generates you an extra life for more death abuse. This section is one of the banes of my existence, I'm not going to lie. There's a lot that can go wrong here, particularly because of these holes. I'm going to play it safe a little bit. Yeah. That could have gone a little bit better. Oh, he wanted to whip punish me so bad, of course he did. Yeah, that was dirty. Remember I said about 1 frame grabs? No, there you go. Really didn't want to take a death in the first stage, but here we are. So here you have Rocksteady, who if I still had low health would be a real problem, but since I have a decent amount of health, he should go down pretty quickly. See, that would have killed me too, so I guess just a deathless stage 1 just wasn't meant to be. Most of the boss fights you're going to see things similar to that, just special the heck out of them until they're down. With a bit more optimal movement, I probably would have gotten hit, but anyway. Start off stage 2, I'm going to drain as much of my health as I can by doing these drills. These guys are annoying. These guys will move out of your way and lunge punch at you. Cove, how you doing? By the way, y'all, once I'm done, be sure to stick around for Cove. He's got some great stuff coming up, including Final Fantasy VI with Kefka and Narsh. I'm going to do this just for some points. Wouldn't hurt after the death I just took. So here comes our first intentional death, which I am still going to take even though I took that death I didn't want. Okay. So the key thing in this game is every time you die, you're actually allowed to switch characters. The reason I'm not choosing a character at this time is because if I put Leo on screen, it's going to lag the screen. There's a lot of these sprites going, so I'm just making sure it doesn't spawn just to conserve time. Let those guys do their thing, and that'll generate Leo. Okay, so in addition to what Raph can do, Leo is also extremely good in this game. He has one of the best moves in the game, and in my opinion, the best for actual camping. He doesn't deal well with zoning, but when he does this Cyclone move, he basically gets to kill anything that comes in contact with him. This guy's being a troll. Okay, there we go. That was pretty mean, but we're moving on. Also, shout out to the soundtrack in this game. This might be my favorite Konami soundtrack on the NES. Alright, second part of stage 2. Now we're on this barge. Essentially what I'm going to do here is camp myself over these spawn points. Just do this to make sure they don't get to spawn. Move right over here to this cannon. There's actually a faster strat here, but it's a lot less safe, especially since I have such low health. But I prefer not to go for it. Another spawn point. There's a way you can essentially kill both cannons at the same time, but I'd rather keep this extend. And much like with Raph's drill, Leo is completely invincible the whole time he's doing this, which is just gross. Super duper good thing to have. More spawn camping. Leo's basically just that dude chilling up on the top of the cliff with a sniper rifle. Except for the fact that he's right in your face. Because they're just not doing anything about this. He is weak to zoning though. Any foot soldier that can throw a projectile is generally going to give him some issues. Like these guys with the kunai right here. Gotta make sure those guys don't line up with you. One more. Okay. Moving on to our boss. I believe this was the only video game appearance of this guy. Here we have Ground Chuck. There is a quick kill you can do on him with Leo that's kind of hard, and I can't get it consistently. But I am going to get in quite a bit of damage on him. The quick kill involves being able to kill him before he does this the pipe acquisition, but we still only had a couple hits left, so we got to finish him off. Pretty good fight, and we didn't die that stage, so that's really good. Alright, on to stage 3. Great music track here. That was kind of mean, but okay. This is pretty much a Leo-only stage. It's also the first stage we encounter where we actually have to fight 2 bosses. Move these guys back here. I don't know about that, not hitting that guy, but okay. It's also our first introduction to Stone Warriors, who are pretty obnoxious in this game, especially this segment where they spawn on both sides, and they get to essentially choose where they spawn at any given time. You're only fighting 5 in this segment, but the side of the screen they spawn on is it's entirely up to them, and they usually spawn away from you, which isn't good. Here we have Bebop chucking grenades at us. Pretty easy to avoid. First you go right to left, then when he comes back, go left to right. Move on. A quick segment of foot soldiers here. That was pretty good. A couple more there. More spawn camping. These guys can be obnoxious sometimes. See, I kind of figured that was true in regards to Ground Chuck. Sword soldiers can be an issue if they decide to line up with you, which I got pretty lucky there in that I was able to dive down before they could do so. So here we have our first boss in Slash. And this is really going to determine whether or not I take a death here. Cool, gave me a perfect pattern. Great. Slash can get really random there. He can sometimes decide to just jump around all over the screen and there's really not much I can do, but he decided to go aggro on me and I was able to kill him. Really good fight. I figured that was going to happen. Pretty mean video game. Boomerang guys are not so good for Leo. Not bad. More spawn camping. Okay. These guys are pretty simple. Kill them in one hit. Don't have to hit them. Doesn't cost or save time, but generally they tend to go for it just for the points. Alright, 2x4 Stone Warriors are pretty awful. Normally. They have a hitbox for their, yeah, that was unfortunate. They have a hitbox on their melee attack that's really active, but we managed to take care of him. So for Bebop, another quick kill boss. We can line him up with the wheel. We can just do this. And he shouldn't be able to break out of this if I do this correctly. Okay, that was pretty good. Missed a couple hits, but overall still really solid. Very good stage 3. Perfect Slash and Bebop fights. No complaints here. Alright, onto the island. Leo's going to invoke his retirement stiff not too long into this stage. There's actually an intentional death you can take in this stage that I'm actually going to skip. There is the chance that it soft locks the game, and I'd rather just avoid that. Get out of here. These guys you can just kill with a throw. Super simple. I will admit that Leo is not the optimal character in this stage, Raph is, but Leo still does pretty good work for the most part. Like if you're in a spot where you're trying not to ID, then he's fine. In fact, I just PB'd in this game last night and it featured a full Leo stage 4, so... Except for the boss. You definitely don't want Leo in the boss. Hear that? So here's where you can soft lock, and the only way that can happen is if you take a death, so we're just going to skip that. Put these guys... Fine. Gonna drain my health anyway. Flip them too. I was able to take care of those dudes. Got some more unique spawn points here. Love the window spawn. Wasn't seeing much of that in NES games around that time. You meanie. Like that. Flash this guy. Here's where Raph would shine if I had him. Doing drill straight across through those three would just be straight bonkers. It just murders all of them. This part's finicky. Actually, I forgot this bit here. Yeah, that was unfortunate. I didn't move into position quickly enough and then he zoned me. We'll move on to the actual star of the show here for this stage. Raph is excellent. He's able to clear out full lines of enemies, no problem, just like he was able to do in the first stage. As many of these guys with a throw as I can. That was peculiar, but okay. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention about Raph. His special has a unique property. If he collides with the wall, it actually cancels his special, which is actually kind of cool because it allows you to do combos with it. The downside is that it also cancels his iframes. Can't believe I didn't hit the hole there. That was risky as heck. Oh well. Here you have the Luchadors. Probably my favorite foot soldiers in the game, just because their tactics are just hysterical. Like their whole offense is moving slightly back so they can jump at you. Just want to go to the top rope, man. Kill this guy. Let him come out. You can actually kill them as they come out of the hole, but the timing on that's a little tricky. So I tend to go with what works for me. Ooh, did not want that barrel to catch me. Minor lag bomb here. Pretty easy stuff to avoid, but it does slow down the gameplay. That's the unfortunate part. Boomerang guys, I believe. Alright, cool. Love the pop out of the truck, too. Goodbye. Solid. More Stone Warriors. Whew. That was terrifying. I thought that guy was going to straight kill me if I whipped that. Kunai Duders. Take care of them. Shuriken guys are kind of one of my weaknesses in this game. They can really act up, and of course I dropped a special there. I'm actually going to switch to Dawn here. Dawn's what we want for the boss fight, and I was hoping to be able to take an intentional death right before the fight to not lose time, but as I mentioned before, this game can be really hard when it decides you drop that input. Take care of these guys. So Dawn's special is pretty cool. For those that play Street Fighter, it's essentially a Blanca ball. So it's very similar to Raph's, though it's not quite as good. The major difference is that if Dawn collides with the wall, it doesn't cancel a special. Here are these guys, or that could happen. Where are you going? Okay. So that'll clear us out of basic enemies onto our boss. First dirtbag misses stop. Too busy texting, I guess. But he's on his way back. This is one of the hardest boss fights in the game, in my opinion. Doing this fight correctly is incredibly hard. May have a loop here, though. Nailed the timing. That was swell. That's actually really hard to do because if your timing is a little off, he gets to hit you with the pickaxe and it knocks you completely off the screen and you have to try to reset it up. So that worked out really, really well for me. That was weird. Onto the sewer. Not a very difficult stage, but notorious for at least one thing. Also, Don's just really, really good here. He makes very, very quick work of most of the enemies in the stages. It's pretty clustered, but not so much that Leosh is amazing, but just enough to where Don is really good. Okay. Whatever you say, video game. Oh, okay, I was like, what happened? For a second I thought the screen locked. That was strange. Hadn't seen that happen on this stage before. From here we're just gonna take care of some of these enemies. Really didn't want to get hit there, but won't be too punishing, I guess. Okay. Love this track, dude. This track is great. Little positioning exercise here. We've got these drones that are gonna spawn straight out of the middle hole. And if you time Don's special properly, it'll take care of them all, no problem. Their intent is to come out and dive on you. I missed. It's unfortunate. Okay. Thunk. Alright, I'm gonna chill out up here. I do not want to go down there because then they might actually hit me. And we're at 1 HP, so seems like a bad idea. Essentially, through here, I want to keep Don as long as I can. Oh, I wasn't sure I was going to hit him. A quick spawn point. Couple kunai guys, really don't want to get hit here. Quick thing about this segment with the mousers, I'm actually going to do a throw. The throw generates more points than anything else you can use to kill them. Which again is important for being able to make sure we can farm extra lives. That was crazy, but okay. Also, for those that care about this sort of thing, the extra lives cap is 500,000. After 500,000, we just can't generate more extra lives. Alright, so new mini-boss. Here we have this giant mouser. This fight can go really well. I prefer him not to throw fireballs because then it just means he's going to zone me. And that can happen. So yeah, that was bad. First time I've seen the mouser act up like this in quite a bit. Anyway, we'll move on to Raph. Don's best through the remainder of the stage, but Raph is who we want for the boss. And we get a pizza before the boss, so not too bad. Raph's still really good here, though. Again, full screen special is really strong. I don't know why that guy slid in the water. That was rude. Come on, spawn. There we go. Take care of that. Those exploding pipes do hurt you. Chendo's trying to avoid them at all costs. We got some zoning duders here. Didn't think that one through, but okay. Certainly didn't hurt. One last segment. Then I'll move us on to our boss. Ordinarily, if I still had Dawn, I'd skip that and go right to fighting, yeah, I'd go right into the death abuse, which would happen right before the water. Here we have the hardest boss fight in the game. Leatherhead's a real pain. He has by far the strongest move in the game in terms of damage output, knockback, as well as invincibility, and that being that tail whip. So the idea is I'm going to try and bait it out. When and if I can. Also, ideally, I don't want him to get his back against the wall. Because if we land on the other side and he tail whips with his back to the wall, I can't do anything about that and I'm going to get hit. Okay. That was actually a good fight. Any Deathless Leatherhead fight is great. I had to play a little bit patiently, but that still worked out. Okay, on to the Technodrome. Only cutscene in the game we can skip outside of the first one. Also quite a big fan of this music track. Appreciate it, Alpha Flood. Take care of these dudes. So these guys are obnoxious. These are the Fugitoid robots. With any turtle that can cover the screen, like Raph or Don, they're honestly not that bad. But if at any point you have to switch to Leo, they give Leo some real problems. Speaking of problems, these guys are going to split in two, and one's going to spawn off screen, so pretty bad luck there. That's fine. This one I want to put back on the screen, though. So hopefully I should be able to do this in 2 drills. Okay, that was good. Yeah. Ugly. Take care of those guys. Those guys also don't die to anything but a special. If you can throw them, but all it does is just cause them to land on the ground. It does do damage, but you have to hit them again. Do that. More spawn point camping. Leo would be great here, but Raph can definitely suffice. One more. Not bad. Okay. Sneak past this guy, snag a pizza. I'll actually take that hit. That was silly, but whatever. It didn't cost me time. So I personally think that here Raph is suboptimal because being able to kill 4 of these at once is really hard. Even getting just 3 means they can just decide to troll you like this. I'm not going to put up with this. It takes 3 drop kicks to bring him down if you don't nail that, which is pretty awful. Good timing. Terrible timing. Yeah, this is very unfortunate. That timing is really hard. There we go. Generally, if I take a death in this stage before that segment, I have to switch to Leo. I don't feel too bad because Leo's much better against those things. More Fugitoids. This, I think, for flavor reasons, is one of the coolest things in the game, where you just actually go to like a foot soldier assembly line. Camp and just throw them, which is cool. That was nuts. Oh yeah, foot soldiers can wall jump in this game. Why they gave that to a beat 'em up enemy, I'll never understand, but hey. Missed the first throw. That was kind of scary. Nearly there. As long as you stand below the white line, you're fine. Here, a couple more fugitoids. Sorry, a few more. That was almost bad. They almost had me. We're going to take another intentional death, and this is actually the segment where it's going to happen. The only thing that's going to make a difference is whether or not I can take it early, which I really don't want to do, or if I can end up taking it later like I would like. Oh, just took it early. Jump by mistake. So we're going to switch to Leo. Ideally, what you want to do is clear out all these foot soldiers and then take a death from these lasers, because these lasers go on for a fixated amount of time. No, absolutely not. Mike is actually going to get used at the end of the game. He is the weakest of the turtles, simply in terms of speed, because his special has the longest recovery time, and it's incredibly awkward to use. But it also does the most damage, that being the trade-off. Hate these guys with Leo. Gotta do that. You gotta, like, chase them to the wall and do things like this. Minor boss rush here. Here we have Razar. But I'm hoping cooperates, and he did. Sweet. Actually get ice breath here. Didn't want to get hit by that, though. Ah, got away from me. Very unfortunate. I kind of anticipated that, though. That claw attack is really, really active. Okay. Not my best fight, but we're on to Shredder with a decent number of lives at least. Shredder's actually really simple. Stay at the center and he'll wall jump into you. You get to do a lot of damage. Don't drop inputs though, like I just did. He timed it right. Unfortunate. Tried to time that to where I could land before he did that. Or before he got me. Unfortunate to take that death, but it's been a minute since I've had a deathless Shredder fight. That fight's really hard to do deathless. So I rescued April. Which in most cases means the game would be over. Because, you know, we beat Shredder. But not so much this time. He was able to revive, and now he's getting away. On to our second half of the game. Well, it's more like final 40% or so. The elevator not only has a great music track, it's a really cool way to show off just how busted Leo is. Because there's no space to move on this stage, so you get to just spawn camp everything that happens. Like those orbs there are a perfect example. Let these enemies spawn. Essentially in any given situation, they just... no enemies can really mess with Leo here. Come off there. Let all this stuff fall. Pretty simple stuff here. They fall at the same intervals, but where they fall is completely random. That's unfortunate. I mean, we're not dead, so it's not the worst, but still not good. That's not good. Line that up. So Raph, unfortunately, is not good here, but he will be of good use on the next stage. I was gonna kill myself at the end anyway, but had to call an audible. Yeah, they did a lot of really good work with the damage sprites in this game, for sure. So with the elevator being finished, here we move on to the rooftop. Pretty large stage. I think top to bottom it's actually the biggest stage in terms of dimensions. Raph's an all-star here. You get more of these formations where enemies just spawn all in a straight line and Raph just gets to clean house. That could have been scary. It's definitely not easy. Okay. Get out of the way of these rocket launcher dudes. Hey, what's up, Skunky? How you doing? I was getting so scared there, because as soon as they hit the wall, as soon as I hit the wall, they're allowed to hit me. So being in line to kill one, but for the other one to be able to hit you is never good. Come here, you. Okay. Blood soldiers are invincible during jump kicks, so if they do that, I can't hit them until they land. You can hit them on startup, but that can be tricky. Okay, decent there. Need more of these guys. We're just gonna throw them here. Here's a get to move on to where Raph really gets to crush. This dispatch vehicle is just gonna throw enemies at us like crazy, but they always spawn in a straight line. So Raph's is gonna get to do all kinds of crazy stuff here. Sometimes they get away. Come on, guy. That was scary. That drop kick hit was very unintentional. More segments of enemies here. Rav deals with boomerang guys really well. They just can never stop him from having momentum. Oof, had to line that up. It was scary. So scary. The end of this stage is just cluttered with stone warriors, and it kind of sucks. They're always a threat. Okay. So ordinarily Dawn is actually the fastest for Toka, but Raph is still really good, and I still have a life to work with, so I'd rather just hang on to it. A couple things to keep in mind for Toka in terms of his offense. That grab is really powerful, and you want to avoid it. He's also going to have a jab rush that I'm anticipating him doing, and that's where we're actually going to be able to do most of our damage if he ever starts. But right now, it just seems like he just wants to jump. You can halt his jump momentum by just interrupting it with special. He never jab rushed me once. That's very uncommon, but oh well, we finished it. That's also the last extra life we're going to get. While I move on to our last stage. That was so weird. I've never seen him not go for jab rush. That was bizarre. Not sure at all what to think there. Alright, for our last stage, here we have a Krang spaceship. This stage isn't too difficult per se, but it does have one major drawback, and that's incredibly long. Especially the second room. The first room's not too bad. Raph again is really good here. Dawn also is quite good. I've had some very, very good runs with Dawn through this stage. Raph is slightly better though. Not bad. It's always scary. When they spawn and they jump kick, if you're too late on trying to hit them, they do get to hit you first. Come on, guys. Not giving me any movement. That was unfortunate. I have died that way before too, so that wasn't too terrible of a surprise, I guess. Just really unfortunate that it happened. Rav doesn't really deal with these guys too well, simply because he's the only character that requires 2 specials to be able to kill them. Like his one weak point in this stage is the helicopters. Alright, so here I'm going to be utilizing what I hope to be a pretty good amount of safety. Of course I say that and then I get hit. You guys are jumping around a lot. Don't appreciate that. that way. Okay, that'll work. Fall on me. And I don't want them to spawn off screen. Okay. Should be able to kill these guys both in one shot. Okay, there we go. Whew, that timing was ultra strict. Another run, I probably wouldn't have gotten that. You and your iframes, that's really mean. That guy took a minute to spawn. I'm gonna go ahead and grab this, I hope. Okay, there we go. Pretty good grouping there. Alright, this should conclude our first room. I'm gonna have a quick mini boss here. Just another mini mouser. It's a little bit tougher of a fight because of the electric barrier, so you have to be mindful of that and cautious and stuff. Of course, you can also drop inputs. That's cool too. I'm actually gonna switch to Dawn here. Really unfortunate death there. There's a pizza in the next room too. Switching to Dawn is actually a safety call here. Raph is still faster, but I didn't want to take that death, so here we are. Okay. Come here. Okay, there we go. Oh yeah, that's right, you can't throw these guys. Because that happens. Things you forget sometimes. Just hope I can make it to the pizza. Okay, cool, we're good. Yeah. Have enough distance there. Hey, what's up, Yells? Thank you so much. Better than getting hit. These little guys are very low health. They die to pretty much anything you do to them. So I'm actually going to try and do as many of those standard hits as I can. Drop kicks work really well too. The X factor are these foot soldiers that are deciding to jump. Sometimes you have to special to get in though. Sometimes you just need to be invincible. These guys are gonna be obnoxious. Wow, that was an amazing whiff punish. Okay, so suddenly we might be in a lot of trouble. I might have to repeat this room now. That was a really, really bad death. Like, probably cost me the run and stuff, because we only have 2 lives left, and there's another life that I have to use after this. Okay. Chase these guys to the wall. Admittedly, Leo's not exceptional in this segment, but he's who we want for the first boss, so I'm just hoping to be able to make it that far. Okay. There's really no reason to kill enemies here, because if I miss and get hit by a ball, then that's really bad for me. Again, I can't obtain more extra lives. The cap for that is 500,000. Gotta jump into this. Okay. I tried to aggro me. Mostly just trying to be mindful of these foot soldiers, and of course I'm gonna get hit. That's the run. Very unfortunate death there. So Mike I'm keeping because he's the best against the final boss. And he's really, really good against the next to last boss. but at this point, I don't know. I don't think this is gonna be. It would probably take a miracle for me to be able to finish this without a continue. The reason I'm feeling bad about that is because continuing will start me back at the beginning of this room. As I mentioned before, this room is really, really long, so. So a little bit about Mike, since I haven't got to talk about him. His special's really awkward. It's pretty much only an anti-air. Does do really good damage. But not enough to make him great, unfortunately. So maybe I go perfect on Krang. Of course I probably don't, but we'll do what we can. I don't think I've ever done this fight without getting hit. Yep. I'm really sorry, guys. I wanted to put up a better run than that, but the game decided that today wasn't the day. So we are going to finish it, but I just now have to start back at the beginning of this room, and that's really obnoxious. Real shame, too. That's like 3 minutes lost. Ordinarily, what I would do is if I had less lives and you can continue at the start of this room, then I would just put myself in a position where I could just take the death there and eat the continue. And then you lose like hardly any time. You lose maybe like 5-6 seconds or so. Comparable to 3 minutes. Not so much. But I had a really good number of lives going into this room, and that didn't work out that way. One of the worst things this game could do to you is be really nice and then be extremely mean right after that. Because then things like this can happen. I'm just going to be doing this to my heart's content. Oh yeah, I have no doubts that like estimate shouldn't be like an issue or anything. It's more just a case of like, really, game? Hang on a second. I just realized I have the, I just realized I had the wrong game up. Alright, so switch that. Sorry for the whole Radical Rescue Splash. Thought I had that set up properly. Because I saw the estimate and I'm like, that estimate's not correct at all. I've only gotten 2 40XX runs in this game, so 41 estimate's a bit optimistic. For me, it is. Again, sorry about that. I noticed people talking about it in the channel. I just did not know what they were referring to. Yeah, my apologize. Yeah, I agreed with Moose. This game is pretty much Thanos. If it wants to snap its fingers and end your world, it's going to do that. And you have no control over it because you can't aim for the head. At least they'll be able to show off some more optimal boss fights in this case, I hope. Not purely optimal, but better than what I tried to do. Okay, enough of that. Thank you so much for the good luck, OWG. This game is still acting up. I want to position that to where I can hit both of them. That didn't work. Hold on, Zen. I don't know about that. Probably just ate an input. So I'm switching to Leo because he's going to be the best against the boss. Not so much good against Shuriken Duders. Rude. Wow, they really don't want me to play this game anymore, it seems. Though this game acts up sometimes. Alright, last segment of soldiers. So, back to our regularly scheduled program. Krang is interesting in that he's perfectly manipulatable for the first part of the fight. Like, I can just push him all the way to the wall and do this, which is really fun. Unfortunately, when this starts to happen, that's when things get bad. The legs are a nuisance. They're purely invincible to everything but a special. And the hitbox on those things is obnoxious. That's new. Luckily, you can just do that and make missiles avoid you, so that's cool, but... Back into the wall and finish him off. Alright, so there's a small chance I meet estimate at this point. The Shredder fight may not take too long, but maybe I should have switched to Mike there once I took the death. This is where Mike actually sees use. The Shredder has a lot of attacks. The two most threatening, in my opinion, are his two melee attacks. That kick, and then he's got that chop. Leo's not super exceptional against him, but Mike can do a pretty good amount of cleanup here. As I mentioned before, Mike's special does the most damage, and it can hit twice in most cases. Which I would like for it to do now. Really, the big thing with Shredder is just movement. He's got a teleport, and of course he's got just that zigzag dash he's got. Didn't want to die there, but okay. It's also cool they got an 8-bit version of Final Shell Shock here. Hoping he teleport there. Lots of RNG there, but that's going to be time. Man, almost met that estimate. That's that Spaceship 2 is something, though. Gross run. Shame, too, because until that run was excellent, but things happened. Enemy behavior cost me a good run. Oh, well. Things happen. Anyway, thank you so much for the GGs, everybody. Hope at least the first 80% of that was informative. But, yeah, that repeated the second spaceship level gets a bit tedious. Go ahead and take a moment for these ending credits, too. These credits are great. Just love this tune. Did it? What is it doing? I don't know what's happening there, guys. Doing something weird. Appreciate it, Skunky. But, yeah, we'll get it, we'll definitely get it correct for the next one, and I apologize that that happened for so long in the run. I run a lot of games on Twitch. I've been playing TMNT games all month for TMNT Mania. This month is the 35th anniversary of the franchise, because the Mirage comics debuted in May of 1984. And at the end of the month, I'm going to be doing a full marathon of all of them, but I'm playing 3 of them for you guys today. But yes, I think I'll still be going for sub 40 in this game. My current PB is a 40-19. It's not super far away. But yeah, much as with myself, the new runners, just feel free to click on the featured button underneath the stream and drop that follow. But anyway, we'll get on to our next game here in just a moment. For those that asked about 2 TMNT 3s, they numbered them the same for both NES and Game Boy, but they were completely different games. So the next one's going to be the third one for the Game Boy, which is called Radical Rescue. So let's go ahead and get us switched over, and I'll get switched over myself. See you soon.